to the cloud. And let's see who's online. We have Scott. There you go. We have Alisa. Admit. We have Ahmad, right? Then Atahe. Then we have Chris Combs, and then Samit. And I guess this is all. Okay, so yeah, I guess people can hear me. Let's see what question I have for today. But so I would like to make sure that people, we're studying a little bit later, apparently. So then online I have Ahmad, Alisa, Chris, Sanmeet, and Scott. Here's a question for today. That if you can please listen to my question and send back in the chat some sort of answer indicating that you heard me. The question is, why is dyslexic so hard to spell? It's a good question, kind of rhetorical though. And if you don't know the answer, you can just please write it down so you can see how hard it is to spell dyslexic. Also, another question of the same category is, why is phonetic not spelled with an F? Do you know that? Do you know why? Last question today, why is gullible not in the dictionary? Because it is in English. I totally agree with that. So at least I know Chris can hear me. Because it is hard. So yeah, that's just a joke. Dyslexic hard to spell. These people who are dyslexic should have a better, easier experience, right? Spelling their condition, I guess. Phonetic with an F, I think that would be fair. And the last one, gullible in the dictionary, of course it is. But if you look, then you're gullible. So now I'm gonna say, I would like to connect from my iPad and finish Deutsche. Actually, before we do that, I'd like to share the screen. Can I? I don't even know. I have recording over here. Thank you, Sami. Thank you, Chris. And I guess I have to write down who's here. No. I trust that the other people also can hear me. So what I'm going to write down in terms of acknowledging your presence over here, which should be celebrated, right? We have Wednesday, July 3rd, and let's quickly write down who's here, who's not. Wednesday, July 3rd, I am here finally, and also Elma is here. Okay. Then as far as Zoom, I said I have both Ahmads. I have Chris, and then I have Alisa, Samit, and Scott. These are the people that I have 2, 4, 6 with me, 7. So, but there will be a second me coming in from the iPad. So I don't want to share anything. Okay, there's a chat. What else is in the chat? English isn't the best language for sounding out words and spelling them exactly the same. Yeah, like what is let me see, read and read. Anyway, so I'm gonna go in and I'll quickly show you something about English.
Dyslexia is not an English word.
Dyslexic. It's in the English Webster. So.
But dyslexia is difficult in any language because it's a Greek word, I guess.
Okay, so then it's unfair to all the people in all languages.
Yeah, because I am.
Well, I guess the Greeks were showing off. Yes, it's their fault. I think so. So I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna say launch meeting, and that will say open Zoom, yes, and I'd like to join the meeting, and this is it. I will now join the meeting, and I am being told that I want to join my own meeting, and I will admit myself. And now I have 8 people. 2, but the little echo goes away now, because now the echo is no longer produced by 2 devices. I have 2 devices, and one of them is being canceled. So, well,
No, it's borrowed from German actually.
yeah. Now this is sent Elmar on a deep research mission to find out
Borrowed
exactly
from French and German.
who came up with Germans have a long history of coming up with long words. So I don't think it's German.
No,
It's too short.
it's
Or it's
written
German.
in Merriam-Webster, borrowed from French and German.
All right. They fought some war and then they ended up with whatever letters were left. And that's dyslexia or dyslexic.
This is German and Lexia is French.
I'm gonna share the content regardless. Here's the screen, says start broadcast, and you should see this on your Zoom connections. Adrian has started doing whatever, and this here represents the what the thing that we did yesterday. Where I was trying to get this thing to work. I mean, the preform. The preform of yesterday, where my main concern was a bunch of concerns actually, but now we're so I'm going to say I come up over here at the bottom, no? I thought I could just get, come on, eraser. Eraser, I thought we could have erasers, where are the erasers? I can write, but oh, there you go. So the eraser now is going to, oh, that's too small. Eraser, I want the big one, there you go. I'm going to say that today we would like to describe the Deutsche implementation. And so we're gonna do some thinking on this freeform thing, and then we're gonna move on back to the other one, the desktop, and implement that. So there's little dots everywhere. I want to come back here and I say that. I don't know, let me just write so I can tell how Wednesday, July 3rd. I'm happy with this, like how my pencil looks. And guess what? I'm gonna ask Scott. Scott, I'm gonna write your name here, Scott, because you told us about Scott W. I am going to ask you if you know how to read this word in English, Scott, briefly. Yes, no?
How to read it in English?
Then how do you read this in English? And now, because you spoke, which is perfect, 'cause I got to see here, you know, if you could be heard if you were to say something, let me quickly tell you. This particular setup is of course a game, but it's set up by or invented by George Bernard Shaw. He was a playwright, right? And he got prizes and whatnot. And let's pretend that you play the following game with English. I'm gonna say GH, I'm gonna pronounce it as in though. Well, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm gonna go back. Not in though, sorry, as in tough. So you already see I have several ways of doing this. Well, in that case, this is kind of an F, right? And then if I go and say, take the word women from English, and just completely context free, we mean this one is like an I. Right? And then you write the word superstitious. And you just say, I just want the precedent, some precedent, and I take it context free from that precedent, and I apply the pronunciation here, and I say, then English becomes kind of a funny language. So I could take the first one, I'll take the second one, which is shh. So then that's how you read it, fish. But that's because you chose the right combinations. Now there is one interpretation. That's one interpretation. This comes from George Bernard Shaw. The second one is, you know, like nothing. Because you could go with though, and then the GH doesn't have a sound. And I forgot what the O is coming from, but in the end, I'll show you later. So that no sound. That's the second approach. And now I have trouble thinking of the words. So I could say though. And the GH doesn't have a sound, and then you can do the same thing for the O and for the T's, ballet, and this would be from business. So business, nobody reads this I, so this is silent. If you say ballet, which is also taken from French, I suppose. Very peculiar about their language, they translate everything. So the T doesn't have a sound, so that's also silent, and the GH doesn't have a sound. So I only have to say give me a word where the O is not read. Because it doesn't have a
Petrol.
petrol. I think you can just get
If
any
you're
word.
British, it's not
if you say take any word and just don't read the O, then that's just an ad hoc rule. But silent, if you just look up silent goatee, I still think of it as goatee. I will basically say the O, pronounce it as in women, same thing as women. Women. That's the fish. O as in people. Yeah, that's right. I was coming here and I'm thinking, why don't we say pyopo or something? Of course we don't. So if you were to say read GH as in though, then you don't read anything. And if you do this as in people, and there's no O that you can detect in people, right? So that's fine, silent too. And then if it's T as in ballet, then you don't hear it. And then there is this as in business. So suddenly there's absolutely no sound coming of this. So if I'm quiet, I might be yelling at you this thing. It has no sound. Thank you very much. And I'm not entirely sure if you guys can hear it. Oh, yeah, you can see it. Okay, so all of this is nonsense. It's just July 3rd. A little comment to Scott, but all the others as well. So you can look this up and go T as fish. I lost the eraser again. And then we have GHOTI as no sound. That's just of recent origin. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to say that if anybody has any questions right now, not necessarily about spelling or not, it's clear that we can hear each other. We have 8 participants, which are the same 8 participants, and we should now get started. I guess I'm going to say now, we had 3 possible situations. Again, yesterday I gave you an overview of the kind of quantum advantage situations that we wanted to explore, but in a way that at the end you could say to anybody who wants to listen to you, and not only I know those situations, but I can actually write down the equations, that's the second step, sorry. I can actually follow along with the Misty states and I can implement them in Qiskit. So we have 3 situations with Deutsche, which is money or tiger. One possibility is no tiger at all. And we worked this out. And then there's a tiger. The option of having a tiger is the tiger is on the white door or the tiger is under the black door. If you look into the books that we are working with, the Kubica is the book because that's what I worked out all the cases ahead of time. And then you have this need to constantly try to eventually reach the regular math. And then for that, we have Martina Fauré. If you say, I'd like to know how Kubica is related to the original formalism, then you look into Q's for quantum. And finally, if you would like to study a textbook, conventional, pure textbook, that's Tommy Wong free, and we have to start reading that soon, like next week. And so, because of how we organize ourselves, and we keep reading, and there will be other resources as well. So then, if you read in any of these resources, what's the Deutsche algorithm? The idea is that you have to identify a function if the function is constant or if it is symmetric. And if it's symmetric, means that there are 2 values, and on half of the domain, it has 1 value, and on the other half, it has the other value. So again, like in the Bernstein-Vazirani thing, to find out what that thing looks like, you have to go look at the values. And if you unluckily, so to speak, get the values that give you the same value up to the half, you just choose the half that is definitely the same value for f, then you will not be able to tell that the function is constant, if that's the case, until you look into a value from the other half. So you have to, if the domain of that function is n elements, then you have to do n over 2 plus 1 tests to determine that the function is either constant or that the function has finally changed the value, which means that it's symmetric and it has for half the values 1 output and for the other half another output, 0, 1, whatever, -1, 1, and so on. So in this case, we are going to essentially distinguish between tiger and no tiger at all. This really would represent a constant function, okay?
It's money, okay.
What, okay, and then the other one said, I have a tiger here, no tiger here, money here. Okay, or I have money here. And the tiger here, this is a symmetric function or balance function, let's say balanced. So what the function, the algorithm does, so if you say no tiger, you can just come here and say, forget this, let's just say what it is. Money, money. So when I'm doing money, money or tiger, tiger, the problem says, it doesn't make sense for you to say, you either are in this case or in this case. So we are switching to red and say we will never consider this. Never ever, because it doesn't make sense for our game. So just take it out. We will never put two tigers. End of story.
But if you would,
But I don't want to because it's not a good game.
okay, my question is, could the Toshio algorithm detect?
Oh, they will detect if
If
you have.
money.
Yes, exactly. So if I were to put this, then the Deutsch algorithm will detect, first I need one more oracle. And then the algorithm would say, you have just money or you have just tigers. Okay, but it doesn't make sense for the game said, so open the doors because there are tigers. Okay, what? They're gonna eat each other, they're gonna annihilate each other. Okay, but that doesn't sound reasonable. So take out the tiger, because that's the part of constant function. So the only constant function you determine for it to be a meaningful game
Yes.
is money, money. And then you have tiger, money, money, tiger, that's the balanced function. So we rule out tiger, tiger, we do not provide tiger, tiger, we don't have two tigers. We only have one tiger, so we will never see that case. And so applying Deutsch's algorithm to find if the function is either constant or balanced means balanced, there will be a tiger, we only have one tiger, let me just be clear, tigers are expensive. We only have one tiger, we cannot, also, people from the Organization for the Protection of Animals. They're gonna come after us if we start playing this game incorrectly. So I will detect if the function is balanced, that means danger. So balanced function means danger, where's the thing?
But if
Right.
you had more tigers, then more people would fail and then the tiger had more food.
There is only one tiger. We do not have other tigers.
So,
There is no danger if you have money, money. Right? I cannot say no danger if I have tiger, tiger, so I rule that out. Also, I don't have a second tiger. If Elmar provides additional tigers, we can change the game. There is no second tiger, which means that constant function means money, money. That's a good situation, right? Constant function in this game, since we will never have a second tiger, means money, money. And tiger, money or money, tiger means just go away. Do not open both doors. And having this, I'm going to say that the first case, as we discussed yesterday, is basically an oracle. The oracle for no tiger is like this. We have Q0 at some point and Q1 over here. We are very seasoned users of Qiskit. So now we know that we can choose everything. Clearly, the goal here is for me to tell you what you should get and then put it in Qiskit and get whatever Qiskit gives me and say, that's exactly what we did in this state. You have to understand that I'm going to have to create a circuit over here. So I don't think that I did the right thing. I'm going to erase this again. Let me say it one more time what I'm trying to do. This is the oracle. This is the oracle for no tiger. And please understand this, the original game is classical. And you prove that you can only ask, you have to ask at least a question, but in most cases, more than one. And yesterday we had a discussion with John, like how many questions on average should you? And I properly send you back to week number 1, where I said, when it comes to say probability exercises, we have two options, either count with the program or simulate with the program. And that's what you can do too. Carefully write a program that produces all the cases and uniformly run it and see how many times you had to ask questions until you knew where the tiger was. So especially if there is no tiger, you have to ask the questions. And then in some cases where you picked the door without the tiger, but there is a tiger, you have to ask the questions. And then in some situations, you are going to ask the question, be told that there is a tiger, and then you say, I don't need to ask the second question. So this is the situation with no tiger. What did we say we want to do? What we would like to do, I'm going to say, please, let's acknowledge the fact that there are some barriers over here. which simply group these oracles together. Now, this is an empty oracle, so the various do not do anything. I mean, they say that we have this nothing in here. Okay, fine, that's the oracle. And you can take the oracle and ask it questions. For example, you could say black. Your question now, as John was telling us yesterday, is you're asking if there's a tiger behind the black one. But the answer would be black, which means no. The test cubic, which is Q1 in this case, does not change, therefore there is a tiger. White, same thing. And so when you're dealing with this, clearly this tells you there is no tiger. Now, that's the quantum oracle that is the equivalent of the classical oracle that you did in the beginning. If all the circuits are classical, you have to ask those questions, as I indicated. But if the oracle is quantum, then you can build a circuit, ask the circuit only one question, and find whether there is a tiger or not in one answer. As I said before, you will not know where the tiger is, but you will know if it's safe or not. So the circuit now, this is the oracle, but I built on top of the oracle, I'm going to put Hadamard gate over here. And because we discussed earlier that we are going to feed black, then I have to say in the beginning, this guy comes as white, and so does this one. And so I'm going to put an X gate over here to turn it into a black. And so I'm going to do the same thing over here with an X gate, and it's going to turn into a black. The algorithm, maybe I could have used some colors over here for the Hadamard gates to indicate that I can do something like this. This is the circuit that we are implementing. And these are just sort of preparation of the input. So I'm going to say preparation of input state. No, finally made it. Okay, good. And so I'm going to come back to black. Come on, black. What are you doing? This one. No, this one. I put black. I see. Then I'm going to come out and I'm going to get the output. So I always put white, and that sort of translates into a black over here, a black over here. This is the only question that I'm asking. Because there is no tiger, I should get black in the output. Now the question is, what do you expect when Qiskit does this? Because I'm going to write the Qiskit code right now. Well, the answer is that in the beginning, the input, well, okay, fine, it's black. I have no idea how I switched to the eraser, but the input is going to be 0, 0. And I don't care which one is the first, which one is the second, given that it's 0, 0. The output of this is going to be 1, 1. And again, I don't care because that's how it is. My first one is the second one for them, and my second one is the first one, but it's 1, 1, so I cannot distinguish. So the example here is that if I were to put this circuit in, run it, and get the phase 1, 1 at the end, this would be a proof that I have done everything correctly for the case, no title. And I think I'd like to do that. Then I'm going to say there are 2 more cases. And so of the 2 cases, I'm going to choose one of them. I think that you remember, we'll look into the qubits. The one in the middle had extra NOT gates, so that it was like the tiger is behind the white door, has a more complex oracle. But the tiger behind the black door has a non-empty, reasonably simple oracle, which is just a control NOT gate, and I want to implement that too. So I'm going to come back over here and say, where's my zoom? It's probably right here. I want to stop sharing. And now, since I explained what I want to do, I'm going to go with share over here. No, come on, man, share. And I share the whole thing. And I'm going to say, this is my zoom, Control Alt Shift H. And I'm going to say, I've done everything I wanted to do. Oh, that's me looking for whatever that I didn't show you because I was looking into the desktop and then broadcasting from the iPad. That's all right. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to say C290 quantum. Right, doesn't know. So do I really? I guess no. So I'm going to go Google. I want to enter Gmail. I want Google Coca-Cola. That's what I want. So the question is, it will give me I don't remember. So I came late this morning, and usually when I sign in, it says, "Would you like to be signed up in in Google, in Gmail, whatever. I already know, I'm not entirely sure if I am or not, so I'm gonna say file, new notebook, what's a new notebook? New notebook, how about this? Yeah, so I need to sign in, okay, that's very nice, that's what I'm saying, I skipped this step when I counted as everything fast, so. What was my email for this guy, was. The one that I use, for the GitHubs. I also, quickly, typing, at gmail.com. And then I'm going to say, my password. And this, I hope. No, I'm sorry. It must be this one, it's only potentially, I have a low success rate here, and I'm gonna say this is it. So then, you could easily say, wait a minute, how do, I mean, if you say, model for us the way of solving this problem, right? Because you said you'll do it in class. And I said, yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I first modeled reading the paper by the two people, Barnes and Eddie and Sophia. And now I'm gonna model to you how I write the things from scratch. So it goes like this. Well, I forgot everything, right? But I remember doing the homework early. And if I do go back into my other notebooks, I guess that will be under group. I think I put them. So if I look into week 1, for example, I have a Tuesday over here, which includes a circuit. And I'm going to start with that one. So apparently, I could at some point maybe learn this by heart, but what if I didn't have the time? Then at least I have a place that I can go to remind myself, to refresh the steps that I'm supposed to take. So first install these things, and while this is installing, I'm gonna go back to the notebook and I'm gonna say, I guess I'm gonna build a circuit. It's not a very hard circuit, so as soon as this thing is over, which might take a while, and I can't type because of that thing. So that's a moving type. I'm gonna say import. It says, let me wait until I get the first cell completely finished with the evaluation. And once that thing says I'm done, I'm going to eliminate clear selected outputs. That one, and I have the quantum circuit. So I remember, I sort of understand. And the original goal was to create a circuit with 1 qubit. I don't think so yet. I need a circuit with 2 qubits. So I'm going to go with what we did in the past, and then kind of modify this. Okay, so I would like to draw this, and Elma would say, "Oh, that's easy. That's the greatest looking circuit where there are just 2 wires." So I say, great, I can do this step by step, just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. So I could put 2 Hadamard gates, but that's the circuit. And I don't want the circuit, I want the input changed into quantum circuit. Please add an X on the 0th one, and please quantum circuit, add an X on the 1. And so this will put the 2 gates over there. And we don't need a barrier, but the barrier is just like a line saying from here, we move there. There's nothing to align, but the barrier still says, and by the way, now we're going into the significant stage that is the problem rather than setting up the inputs to be whatever we want to be. So QC the barrier would actually produce this thing. Okay, I have a barrier and I'm happy about it. And it's just delimiting stuff, you know, like there's a border between Indiana and Ohio, who cares? But the border is there. So when you go from one state to the other, it says, welcome to Ohio, welcome back to Indiana, whatever. So that's what it is. There's nothing else. And now I'm going to say, what are we doing? Quantum circuit, I need a Hadamard gate on 0. Quantum circuit, I need a Hadamard gate on 1. And so I draw more of this and look at it. I now need another barrier because I really want to clarify that the barrier is where that I draw now is where the oracle for this problem, no tiger, starts. And it's a little bit of overkill, no doubt, because really the oracle is empty. And as the oracle is empty, I will write that, but I can't do anything in there. So say now put another barrier to indicate that we're finished with the oracle. So look, you see the oracle is in between those 2 barriers for this problem. Anyway,
Those 2 Hadamard gates.
I now need another set of Hadamard gates. That's true. They said if you have an oracle, you have to put Hadamards in front and Hadamards at the end. And that's your circuit for the Deutsche. Always. The only thing that changes is the oracle, given the specific situation that is or that isn't the tiger.
Yeah,
And when you show up for this game, you have no idea if there's a tiger, but you know that the circuit has been set up to reflect whatever situation you're in.
But I know there are not two types.
There are no two tigers, that's right. And so in this case, you could conclude, once everything works out fine, that in the quantum sense, we can feed off the oracle. And then I think the oracle might acquire some sort of mystical aspect. And so we should pay attention to it because there's an oracle in Grover as well. But the oracle is not telling you the answer. It's simply meant to recognize the answer. It will recognize the answer, but it will not tell you. If you say, what's the answer? It doesn't know what you're saying. But if you feed a situation, it could say, yes, that's a good answer. Or no, that's not the answer. So it's like a device that accepts and validates inputs, indicating good, bad. That's all. And I'm now going to say I'm going to put a quantum circuit. I need a Hadamard on 0, and quantum circuit. I need a Hadamard on 1. And this is my circuit for the situation where there is no tiger. And if I am correct, remember I did do this with Misty States. I am feeding it with 0, 0. I would like to see the output come up as 1, 1. If I put 0, 0, because of the two x's, I feed 1, 1. And then if the 1, 1 makes it through and the result is 1, 1, since no qubit has changed to white, that means that there is no tiger, you're safe. There's just money. Please open the door, you take the money and run. So I'm going to come back over here and I say, how am I drawing what I'm supposed to draw? And this is the chunk of code which does that. I come back here to the untitled 8, I guess I'm working on. So I say from Qiskit quantum info, take the state vector, and then ask QC what's your state vector, then draw it. And this should print a 1, 1. And the moment it does print 1, 1, we say we have just demonstrated what we said. Now I'm going to ask myself, how am I going to deliver this? Right? I'm taking C290 and then he talked to us and showed us stuff, and now I'm doing mine. Okay, if I want to submit it. So here's my idea. Everything that we have here is fine, but the QC is going to be no tiger. Okay? And I'm going to call this circuit no tiger so that I can have tiger W. That's tiger behind the white door. I want to have 3 different circuits, and instead of calling them circuit 1, circuit 2, circuit 3, I give them a name that would indicate what they stand for. So it's a situation where there is no tiger, and I know I like calling it QC, but hey, there will be 3 QCs, and I don't know which one is which. If I call them QC1, QC2, I don't know what one is immediately. So I call them no tiger. Okay. I also know that at this point everything works. So when I do this renaming, nothing should change. I just draw the no tiger, and here I'm going to have to become aware of where QC was indicated. QC is here, but now it's called no tiger. And then I say, that's it. Please draw the whole thing 1, 1. This completely eliminates, I mean, just finishes the situation where there is no tiger, and I am able to show you that this, if that's what you would have when you show up, you run this circuit, out comes 1, 1, you say, oh, money everywhere. Open the doors. No tiger, you take the money and you have it. So now I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but I'm going to create which one? So because you say, well, I'm not sure which one you're going to do, let me go to the qubit set. And the qubit set is not recognized, so I'm going to have to go back to, so I haven't used it enough from this browser to remember it, but now I'm going to go to C290, which I have used enough. And if I go into the qubit set, where are we right now? We are in chapter 9. So have we done superposition? Yes, that's just a Misty state formalism. Multiple qubits we have, it's a string. We only have 2 qubits in our example so far. Phase is a minus, 1 qubit gates, 2 qubit gates. Entanglement, phase kickback, bursting Basilani, Deutsche. We are in chapter 9. Now you have to pay attention and realize that my next step is going to be chapter 11, not chapter 10. And then we go into super dense coding, and then, the decision to attack them in that order. So the reason they are in this order in this book is because of how I produce them in time. For the APS March meeting, first I do super dense coding and then I do Grover search algorithm. But then when I took all the papers that I wrote over the last 2 years to make this booklet, I in my mind I should go from Deutscher to Grover. But I had already put the chapters in the order that I have written things over the last 2 years. So I'm going to Grover next, and then superdense coding. You say, wait a minute, why is superdense coding supposed to be after Grover? Because it uses entanglement, and so does teleportation. Superdense coding and teleportation are dual phenomena. And teleportation, I can't do it earlier because it uses any kind of qubit. And for that, I really need to break even. I got to put the coefficient. So the breaking even is a realization. I have a very simple situation anybody could think of that would actually show that the system is not able to support it, as Teddy says. So what do? And we have several options, and my idea is to just change this missing state formalism slowly, where it's allowing us to turn it into the real conventional Dirac algebra. So I'm going to go here to Deutscher. And the reason I brought you here, and then I spoke for 3 minutes, is that I want to identify which things I'm going to do. So I'm going to say that the tiger missing is here. And then the tiger behind white door, I believe I said earlier, has of the three, the most complicated oracle. But the next oracle that is non-empty, okay, but it's definitely simpler than the most complicated, is tiger behind black door. And so I'm going to do that one next, because I'm finished with no tiger. So black tiger, I'm going to say. So I come back over here. That's where I inspire myself, and I come back over here. This is where I do stuff. So let me create black tiger, I say, because black is the door, tiger is there. No tiger means there is no tiger. Black tiger means the black door has a tiger. So now I'm going to go and say, what do I put inside? Well, I'm going to put the same thing as before. I mean, seriously, I'm going to go step by step, just like before. This is not called no tiger, it's called black tiger, meaning behind the black door there is a tiger. And I'm going to run it. So then this is again Q0, Q1. I have a problem now. In both the case that I'm doing now, as well as the last remaining case, there will be a zero somewhere. The zero is going to be on Q0. So for me, when I do missing state formalism, that zero will be the first. But when I do Kisket, it's going to be the second. So since in the paper, I actually in the books, in the booklet, I have the circuit coming down because they also had the oracles and everything in between doors vertically. Whatever you see at the bottom is really what Kisket produces. Okay, so that I wasn't aware at the time this last summer. And then when I looked at the video by Watros, he says rotate it 90 degrees clockwise and then read left to right. And so that confused me for about a week, because I would read left to right because it was normal, and then I would look, wait a minute, I have to read backwards. And so that section has been written and rewritten several times, just because I would forget the order, left, right, or right, left, meaning top, bottom. Anyway, black tiger is built as follows. Black tiger, please put an X on 0. And then please, black tiger, you need to set up yourself in the exact same way for the other one, which means that at this point, this will set up the inputs to be automatically white, white. That's what we get if we don't do anything, but we need black, black. That was our understanding. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to say I need a barrier to indicate that from here on, I'm going to start writing the oracle. So if I remember the oracle correctly, I'm going to say that the black tiger circuit has an oracle, which, by the way, I can define separately and then put it as a box. But I think it's better if we define everything transparently. So I'm going to say there's a control knob, which is CX, right? X is not, control knob. And now I have to put, I'll put the control, I guess, first and put the target next. So we look into the thing that we have over here. I don't have to remember it because this is now we are rotating in 90 degrees counterclockwise to get what we are doing now. So the control has to be on top and the target at the bottom. So then I say 0, 1, okay? No, like here, for example. Come on. Control is on top and the target is at the bottom. That's the kind of gate I need here to indicate that the target is on the black, under the black door. So I'm gonna come back here, I'm gonna say, good, that's the oracle, only one gate. That's more than last time though. So black tiger barrier. And now I have the input set up so it's 1, 1. And you know, somebody should stop me now because I forgot, I went into the oracle.
You don't have the money.
Exactly. I went into the oracle without thinking, because that's the excitement. So here, add other mods. That's part of the circuit, which means that I have to do it if I follow my own conventions after the barrier. So then now I say over here, add the oracle. Okay, now that I have these comments, okay, so I'm going to say set up the inputs. To be black, black, or 1, 1 if you want, like so, 1, 1, and then I know this, which is black, black. So I'm running this, and you see, that's the oracle, but I don't have the other mods, and the other mods, as we remember, is going to be, what's the name of the circuit? Black tiger. And I'm going to say there's a other mod on 0, and then there's the same thing on 1. All right. Okay, yeah, well. So I say, I don't like the fact that I added other mods after the barrier, but there is no barrier between come on, shift insert, I guess. So there should be a barrier after the other mods. Okay, so inputs are 0, 0, the X are turning them into 1, 1. Now the circuit starts, so I have a barrier. Put the other mods, that's what they told us. And now there's a barrier saying from here on you get the oracle. The oracle is just 1 gate, you are looking at it. To finish this, I'm going to have to say, after the last barrier, I need you to put 2 more other mods gates, which will produce the final answer. This is the circuit for the situation where the tiger is under the black door. So now, because the only person here is Elmar, I'm going to ask him, what answer do I expect from this circuit?
There will not is it should be white, black, and Q0 should be white.
So I am annotating, so I'm gonna say that what I get over here is white, just by default. You put nothing, you get 0, which is the white. So I could start annotating, for example, here, I should put, basically, I should recognize that a black, I have a black and it takes me a while to make this black, and so on. But the question is, what do I, this is like the black thing, what do I get here?
Black.
And you're absolutely right, so. Do you remember that if I rotate it, well, I don't know, actually, that you're right, you said black.
Okay. I mean, how you say it is white, black.
Okay, so the idea behind this, I mean, I want you to know precisely, is that we decided to change a little bit the rule. So when I'm putting black, black, we promised that this one here will change if there is a tiger. Well, if it changes, this has to be white. This one will never change. So the protocol is modified a little bit. I want to know if there's a tiger. I do not want to know which door it is because I can't open then select it. So this is what we are looking for. Now you say, well, I'm not convinced, but you say,
But I understand now where your problem comes from with this order because you're English speaking and you say 42, and in German you say 42, so we come from the right side and we go to the left side, but you in England or in English go.
It's 42. That was it.
It's, what?
It's 42.
Yes. So we come from the right side and we go to the left side when we read our numbers, but the English people are coming from, okay, this is now.
Maybe,
But
but
I see now the problem that you have, because for me this was not really a problem.
yeah, well, the thing is, I need my spy. Right here, I need my spy. So that I say it's 42, like you say, or 5.
Oh, you
But
say
it's the
42.
same thing with asterisks. Where when they go to England, like red apple, and they say rouge pomme. And it's funny in French, because you don't say pomme rouge. It's the other way around. So that's a source of humor. But in this case, I don't care if you say rouge pomme or pomme rouge. I want you to tell me Q0, what is it? The answer is it must change. And I'll show you why. Because that's the rule over here. See, that's the rule for when I have a quantum oracle and I would like to know that there is or there isn't a tiger. I put 2 black balls, and if I get them out, there's no tiger. But if there is a tiger, the one on the right, and remember how this is rotated, which means for me, the one on top, if it's horizontal, the circuit, the one on top should change to what? If it's vertical, the one on the right should change to what? Which means that spy wouldn't 50 wouldn't swire. Either way, the spy has to be there, right? Where, okay, Control Alt Shift H. I totally agree with you, except in this case, what I'm trying to say, this guy has to be 1. And now what you said comes into play. So if the answer, let me annotate again. So when I need this, it's not there, and when I don't need it, it comes and says, use me. So I want to get this guy. The answer here should be white here, and then black over here.
Yes.
Okay, so then we say, what are you going to see if you do this in Misty State formalism? I will absolutely, in Misty States, I'll call this white black. Which is either German or not German. Right, which means that as of right now, it doesn't help us, but the point was well taken. In the case of Kiskit, swap them, which means that the answer that we expect in Kiskit is, as you said, very natural. Start from the one that's the most significant. So Kiskit is going to produce 1, 0, I claim, while we think of it, horizontal circuit, top to bottom, white, black. We think of it white, black, and Kiskit will report 1, 0. So as long as we understand what to expect, watch me produce a 1, 0. So we can be sure that this is working as expected. Control Alt Shift H. So I'm kind of come back to this guy. No, where here, I guess. So what do? I come back here and I'm going to say the exact same thing that I did for the previous circuit. Now we've done for the circuit called Black Tiger. And remember what I said? I expected my Misty State formalism white black, which should be 1, 0 here. So I expect a 1, 0. Except I don't have no tiger. Don't leave no tiger because you get 1, 1. Yeah, but very well taken. So 1, 0. Yes. Which clearly means white black. For me, horizontal circuit, top down. But Kiskit, meaningful convention. Absolutely. So it's 1, 0. And I say, great, that matches. So now this becomes extremely easy. I think I'd like to finish this on the iPad, but I really want to get the third one too. So let's say that the third one is complicated and I haven't even tested the oracle because I told you, how about I issue this challenge and you guys do it as well. I haven't tested that oracle, right? I kind of know that this oracle is good because you remember what the oracle was supposed to do. Put a black at the bottom. So back into annotating, I'm going to, again, I don't have it when I need it, but it shows up when I have no interest in it. So I have black over here. This guy is the oracle, right? And the idea behind the oracle is that you have a text qubit over here, which is black, and you are ask a question and try to determine whether it changes, because if it changes, that means that the question you asked has a positive answer. So on that line, you're going to have a black. So black comes over here if I just want to test the oracle. And now, remember how this is under the black door? I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to establish a black circle. Let's pretend I did this. If I ask the white, the black does not change, which means that this oracle says there is no tiger under the white door, which clearly is what we are trying to say. But if I put a black here, which is this thing, the black acts on the control, not control, and changes the black, and the result stays black here. So believe me, this is a black circle. But out of the oracle, this becomes white, which means that yes, this oracle identifies the situation where the tiger is under the black door. So I'm out with this, and I'm going to say that, well, still I have this which I want to get rid of, and I hope I explained what I want to do. Control Alt Shift H, and now I'm going to do the last case. The last case says, what tiger, what's the name, situation are you working on right now? And I say white tiger. So now I want to do it in one step because I know it takes too slow, too much time. But who knows if that's a good idea. So every black becomes white. I got 2 qubits. And then I say, just like in the case of the other one, this circuit will have an X. Come on. We'll have an X. Okay, so I have a better idea in terms of changing this. Either I do it like find and replace, or I come back over here and I replace them like this. I put X's on both, and then I put a variant, and then I put a Hadamard, and so far I got the right things. Okay, and I'm going to go and say I put another Hadamard. I'm getting better at the comments, even though I only have 3 comments. It's important to say the oracle ends here. See, last time I didn't do it. End of oracle. Now add trading Hadamards. And now I'm gonna go and put the white tiger everywhere because this is my circuit, and then I draw. Do you guys think that this is correct? The answer is no. The oracle is still the old oracle for the black tiger. But I'm dealing with white tiger. So if I'm not mistaken, on the top line, which is the right line, if I rotate it to make it a vertical circuit, I need to have X's. So the oracle says, put an X, I'll show it to you in a second. We haven't tested that oracle, but we can finish. We have time on the iPad proving that that's the right oracle. So white tiger, X of 0, and then the control, and then white tiger, X of 1. X of 0 again, sorry. So this is the circuit. You can see it's properly split into logical components. I have white in the beginning. I make it black. I have a bunch of Hadamards, and then the oracle is supposed to be what I just showed you. Look at the oracle here. That's the one that we're trying to do. So the right side, which is the top side, if I go back to horizontal, has not controlled for the control not, and then another not. So I'm doing exactly that. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to say that's the not, then the control that controls this. And so it used to be a time when this X in a box was actually a plus. That's why this really isn't a control line to an X, but it could be. So plus used to mean not, used to mean not. And then they changed it, and now this is the actual control not. And the plus doesn't have any relationship with anything, but it's a not gate, which is controlled by the black on the control. So now I'm going to say, great, what am I going to do? Just to prove this is working, I'm going to ask Elma, what output do I expect in terms of circuits? If he doesn't mind, or anybody online. It's there. Nobody else. So I'm putting white over here and I'm putting white over here because that's what I have, and they become black and so on. The question is, what do I get on the output? We discussed this in the beginning that because the whites become black and then 2 blacks are coming down, if there is no change in the blacks, then that means there is no tiger. That's what we got in the first case. But if there is a change, the change will be on the right. It no longer means the door. It just means the right side of the pair will change to indicate there's a tiger somewhere. So the answer is, we expect the exact same thing that we saw in the previous one. Because even though the tiger now is under the other door, we are not reporting which door the tiger is in. We can't. So we need the same exact answer indicating that there is a tiger. So I'm going to say to you that the answer that I have over here is going to be black and white on the top one. I have the exact same output as before. In the misty state formalism, because there is a tiger, I will get this. In the Qiskit, I should get the opposite, which is 1-0. That's for Qiskit. So I'm looking for a 1-0 because I'm running Qiskit. Okay, so I'm gonna say Control Z to erase everything that I have drawn. And I'm gonna close this, and since we know what that means, I'm going to come back here and I'm gonna say, let me take this and run it so I can prove to you. So, okay, I meant, yeah. So 1-0 indicates tiger somewhere. We know where it is, but 1-0 doesn't say that. It just says there's a tiger, watch out. This one also should say there's a tiger somewhere. Be careful that not put black tiger, you should put white tiger. Because, right, and now it comes 1-0. It comes with a face, because this is not measured. This simply calculates and says there's a face in there. With which comes in front of negative, which comes in front of 1-0. But the answer, if I measure, is 1-0.
They could pre-order them. You could have not C notes or C not. It doesn't matter, right?
Wait, there's a phase. There's a phase. We never discussed this oracle and circuit with misty states to determine that there is a phase. So if you say I want to fix the phase, okay, that sounds like a good idea, but we don't know what right now with what we have done so far. It's not clear where the phase is coming from. If I knew that the phase is coming from the top line, I put a Z there or something. I don't know. And try to fix the phase. I don't care to. I do not want to fix the phase right now on account that if I measure, I don't see the phase. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to say, what if I actually want? This is one circuit, right? And so for the first time, that's what Kubica says too. There's a phase.
And I was not thinking quantum, I was thinking Boolean.
But that's after you do the measurement. No, that's totally fine. So I'm gonna come back here, I'm gonna do week 2. I think in week 2, don't you remember how I actually measured? So Bell state, and the question is, how do I measure? So I want to measure. Well, measurement suddenly uses this thing. I have to measure everything and I have to implement this. So that's fine, except it's kind of convoluted and it takes a little bit of effort. So maybe I'll provide that offline. Right now, I tell you, if you measure, you don't see the phase, and I issue another challenge. Go ahead and add measurement to Qiskit like we did over here, and prove to yourself that it doesn't come out, the phase doesn't come out when you measure. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to say, given this, I declare this a success. I might just say here, for example, add
QC measure.
What do you mean QC measure? Yeah, I can find the measurement. You
But
see?
you don't have to count spilling and stuff.
Yeah, I have to do this, but I don't have time right now.
No. You can just write QC measure and then.
Great, let's do it. So I think add measurement, okay? So I think Elma says, oh, but I know it's just very simple thing. Okay, so I'm gonna say white tiger. Your measure all or measure? What do you want? Measure all?
I would just measure and then from 0 to 1.
How about this?
Okay.
Okay, so if I do this, now what? Now you could say, draw it again, draw it again, draw it again. Okay, fine then, I'm gonna draw it again. This is live coding with Elma. So now the question is, perfect, I can measure like this. Okay, but then I have to measure. So how do I do the measurement?
Okay, you're right.
Now I have to add these things, but now I feel like this is too good for me to abandon. So I got this thing, right? And I'm going to take this guy. And this basically will allow me to run this part on it. So if I don't have the AER simulator, then I can't get the run thing. So I have to do this, right? let me just do it, because I think it's gonna be very easy. And I'm gonna put this in here and say import that, call it what it is, we only do it for this circuit, right? And then I say circuit transpile circuit, and so on, but the circuit is white tiger. Right, there is a white rabbit, so why not have a white tiger too?
Yeah.
White tiger, oh, that's even better. So white tiger is going to be whatever it has to become. What tiger does whatever a tiger, white tiger does. I'm again messing it up. White tiger. So I'm going to say, take the white tiger and then give it this information that it is in fact measurable. And now I have a problem. The problem is that I didn't get myself prepared with this. Right? And I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna say, give me a new code. And put this in. And while this is installing, maybe I can come here and move it up. So up, up. So I pretend that after drawing the white tiger with the measurements, classical measurements, I am installing this thing and I cancel the output so I don't get confused. Then when I try to do this, it should find it. It says transpile not defined. And yet now we are running into additional problems because we have not git install. So now we are stuck on account. We haven't really circuit. Circuit is this guy over here. All right, so I told you that we should be better prepared for this. Transpile is not good. Why is it not good? That's disappointing. We had this happening in the past, and then I took it, I did it properly, slowly, and it worked. But right now we lost track of how we do things. So what was working before is not working now. So I say, yeah, forget the transpile. Let's see if I can get things done without the transpilation. Okay, so result is going to be run the circuit, but the circuit is going to be called white tiger. Only I haven't compiled it, so white tiger. Okay, that's not very persuasive. What I'm doing here. So results should be able to get the circuit with the counts and then show me this result, and that should give me always 0, 1, but not in this case. Please don't think that this 0 is 0 out and then this is a 1. This is just the first qubit and the second qubit. So white tiger and white tiger. So who knows what I have not imported? Yeah, well, I'll post this with the issues to say 1, 0. So I didn't have to do the transpilation. Transpile not needed. I put it here, and I got the answer that I wanted. 1, 0 shows up every single time. I don't know if you guys are convinced, but you should be. So transpile not needed. Also, I can't do it. So
Yeah, because
I want to run
only
this.
when it's related to real quantum.
So 1, 0 means that I get on Q1 a 1 and the 0 on where's the face? Let's go on with the wind. And I'm going to also print this to have like a picture at the end. But success. This is great success. From Qiskit report plus, and I'm saying here, tiger behind white door. This is the histogram. 1, 0 is always the answer. Yeah, 1, 0 means there's a 0 somewhere. Watch out. I know it's behind the white door. This doesn't report white, but it tells me there's a tiger somewhere. We know it's under the white door, which means that we should expect the answer to say, watch out, there's a tiger somewhere. We know it's white. The response does not indicate white. It simply says, there is a tiger somewhere. The point was to show, and I'm going to write this down. The point was to show the phase gets lost in measurement. Does not appear here in the measurements. So now the question is, what's going on? Well, what's going on is that I finished the notebook that I said I would show you. This is week number 3. This is really, I think, the only thing that you need for week number 3. A notebook that has the 3 cases of no tiger, tiger under black door, tiger under white door, where you show that you know which one the oracles are, and you know what the circuits are, and if you feed white, white, which becomes black, black, you get white on the top line on Q0. If there is a tiger somewhere and you get no white on Q0, you basically get the black, black back if there is no tiger. And so having done this, I'm going to post this with the group. So I'm going to say download the notebook, and I'll put a link and say all the work that we put today, which is in the video, appears over here. So what is it that we haven't done, and we will probably not be able to do it now, today, in the next 5 minutes. I have not shown you that the third oracle is the oracle for that third case with Misty State. So you can do that, or we can do it in office hours if you have doubts. Then I also haven't traced this with Misty States, the third circuit, and the way I did the first one. Maybe even the second one I didn't, on account that I thought it was too easy. I'd only traced it with Misty States for the empty oracle no tiger in the very beginning. So if I save this, I'm gonna say that I put it, where did I put it? The thing is here, and you see how this is exactly in that place, just another place so couldn't have shown up. Week 3 is over. On Friday, when we get together, tomorrow there's no class, but on Friday when we get together, I'm going to start introducing Grover. And I have a classical game to give some intuition, and then I'm going to actually start building the Grover circuits. Grover requires an oracle. I have 2 things for you to look into if you have time. One is on the what's do, there's a link to Jim actually building the circle. We're going to do the same thing. And in Qubitzer, I have all the steps for everything about the Grover. So you can look into those before we get together on Friday. So now I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, where's Gru? Gru is here. And I say, let me go into Gru and create first. I would like to create, I need to sign in. See, that's why I said I will not be able to do much more because of additional overhead here. So I wonder if this is my password as owner of everything, and I say I would like to create a new file, and the file is called here week 3. And as I said, I can create a folder, but I can create a file in a folder that didn't exist before. This for week 3 code notebooks. And that concludes our week 3 emphasis. But what I would like to still give you is somehow answers to the highlights quiz. Like for example, this week you're supposed to look into the complex numbers and just practice with writing the answers to those questions, given that the answers are in Martin Laforet booklet. And then maybe the same thing with the matrices from last week. So I will keep working maybe tomorrow and also Friday and over the weekend to add stuff that you could in principle benefit from. So I'm going to commit the changes. And once I have, I'm going to say that there are 3 folders now. If I click on week 3, I can put here upload files. And week 3 now will have this notebook. That's the thing that we did. This is the thing that you should take and verify that works for you and submit it as well. Even when I provide everything, you could run into some problems. I got into this issue with Transpile. And then at least 2 cases in the past where people couldn't get the matplotlib to work to draw the circuit properly, and instead we came up the boxes. 2 different people. So week 3 now has for Gru this notebook, which essentially has all of the Deutsche. Install whatever you install. This is the first circuit. Look at the oracle is empty. It's called no tiger. Take this. This is the tiger is behind the black door. Then take this one. Tiger is behind the white door. The same answer comes out, except this is the actual wave function. So I need to go into the classical world. In that case, look, I never get to see the face. Out comes the 1, 0 every single time. Great, because I drew this histogram that says every single time I get 1 0, because of the 0 on the right, which is always on the right, the way this is responded. It's on the top if it's horizontal, that means there's a tie. This concludes our lecture today. Are there any questions? I have a question, Mr. Combs. Are we meeting right now or are we meeting in 10 minutes?
Whatever works for you.
What I would like is to go upstairs in my office. I'm right now downstairs on the first floor, so I want to go upstairs 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So
Okay,
let's get out of, you can stay in Zoom if you want. And I'm gonna cancel this because it's being recorded, so I'm gonna come out. And if you can rejoin immediately, I will meet you from upstairs, if that's okay with you, like in a few minutes.
that is fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so goodbye, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. No. What I meant is Friday. Thank you. So I'm gonna stop recording. And then stop the whole thing. And I hope you have a great Thursday.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yes,